names, you know. It's not like I didn't already write it. It's just writing's not that.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, like, or like repost it or whatever it is you're doing to get it correct on.
It's the wrong channel, even though I already signed into the other one. It's something really weird.
I feel like it's a YouTube error because ever since they took away Google Hangouts, they make it harder for us to live stream. But this is the thing I would love to discuss another time too. I see other people live streaming and they're not using Zoom and they're using this thing where it's just like a split screen. And I don't know what they're doing and it's live. And I'm like, I wonder what software they're using.
Yeah, so hold on a moment and I'm going to go to a different computer to see if I can edit this.
Okay.
It's not letting me sign in here because it's acting like it's been signed into the other account, even though I definitely signed into this account.
The other thing I'm going to talk about with everybody when you're doing that is that I've been getting a lot of new comments on both my channels, but I don't think they're from people like, it's almost like it's a robot commenting because they'll be like, great content, wonderful content, do you want to be friends? And it'll be the same channel and they'll do it on multiple channels.
I had that too. So
yeah, I don't think it's a person. I feel like it's like it's some sort of program bot and it's just going to random channels and it's just commenting. And I have stopped, like I won't even say anything to it because it didn't respond the first time. And I'm like, because I can kind of tell, especially on the hair channel, if it's a real person, because they'll usually have some sort of response. But if it doesn't respond to me, then I know it's not a real person. It's just kind of funny because it leaves, and I've seen it on multiple channels, it leaves the exact same comment. So I asked it, what did you like about my video so much? Why did you think it was so lovely? Because it goes, lovely video, can we be friends? And I'm like, and it certainly did not answer me. And I said, oh, it must be a robot.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have names like Trap. They have Trap in them, like Trap.
Oh yeah, it's that thing again. Okay, because actually there was one a couple of years ago where it was a real person saying that, oh, we have music and you can use it for your channel, for your videos. So I actually messaged it back and I'm like, really, is this like copyright free music? We can use it. And it was kind of iffy. They're like, well, some of our tracks are copyright free, but others aren't, and you can research it. And I'm thinking, so basically they just downloaded a whole bunch of track music off the internet, uploaded it to their site, and were portraying themselves as, oh, these are tracks you can use for your videos. And I would be really careful, everybody, like with the music that you're using, like in backgrounds on videos, because I thought that was really cool for a while, but I stopped doing that myself because it's really hard to find music that's copyright free that won't demonetize my video. Because in my case, probably not for other people, I was getting like a demonetization just because I had a track music in the background, even if it was a copyright free one. So I was like, I don't know what to do. So I stopped using it, even though it was kind of cool, like in a couple different videos, because I'm like, I don't want to actually edit a video and then be told, like one video that I edited that I thought was pretty good, they said it wasn't appropriate for advertising. I don't think it was because of the music background. It's just because it's so random. But anyway, that's why those track channels, I'm a little iffy. I wouldn't just go along with any track channel that's commenting and saying, oh, like you could use their tracks because they're just taking it off the internet like anybody else could. And you can definitely find copyright free music yourself via the YouTube editor. You don't need them. So I don't even really know what the purpose, I guess because once they get enough subscribers, they'll get ads themselves. I guess that's the whole ploy.
Yeah. I just wish that you know, YouTube would crack down on those people, don't you?
Well, I thought they did, but now they're back. They're kind of back. But then here's the funny thing. They'll comment on so many different people's channels. Like even before I go to view their comments now, it's gone. Because I think they're just widely spamming so many channels that like YouTube, like after a couple days, will catch them. But then they come back with other names. It's just funny. I'm like, ah. Anyway, I've stopped trying to figure out why. But I'm just like, oh, okay. Like these are not real comments. But then I will get some other like actual real comments from people, and that's kind of cool. Like if it's a real comment, I'm like, oh, somebody actually watched part of my video. I kind of like that.
Okay, here's what's happening. I did find that we are alive on the
okay.
No, but it's not letting me edit it. So it's
Oh,
called Interspecies Friendships, but underneath it says how to get a viral video or something like that.
oh, okay. So let me go and see, like, if, do you want
Yeah.
me to wait to share it for a few minutes to see if you can do anything else to it, or what would you like me to do?
Let's wait a minute. Let's see if we can get Summer to be in the video.
Oh yeah, that would be, oh, that's so cool. Let's see if I can actually bring it up on my big screen, because that
Okay,
might be fun.
we want to have a picture in which Summer is participating because that's what it's about, right?
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to bring
Yeah.
somebody else over.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Summer. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now would be a good time to share it.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll go ahead and share. So I don't think I'm gonna get anybody else to come because they said me.
Okay, just go ahead and share it now before
Okay, I'll
Summer
do that.
flies away. Okay.
Let's see if I can share it. I'm gonna hit refresh though on my end and make sure that it actually refreshed itself. It hasn't yet. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a couple more things before I do share it. But maybe you can tell us more about Summer. Like, how old is Summer?
Oh, so Summer, I think that Sword got Summer when Summer was 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when Sword was 7 years old, and Summer was a baby, just a newborn. Sorry about that, Summer. I got that wrong. I said that wrong. Okay, so Sword is 20 right now,
Mm-hmm.
and that would make Summer 13.
Okay, that's cool. Wow, I didn't know Summer was 13. Like I thought, I mean, I knew she was a little bit older of a bird, but 13 is pretty impressive. So it sounds like they have a pretty long lifespan as birds go.
Well, 20 years is average. 20 years is average.
Oh, okay. So maybe similar to like a cat. Unfortunately, I'm looking right now, and it doesn't see, unless maybe what I can do is try switching the channels I'm logged into, because I want to share this, but the description's still not correct.
Well, the description.
So let me just see if maybe me switching channels would change that. I don't know.
What I said, Julia, is I wasn't able to edit.
Oh, you weren't able to, period. Okay, just double checking. Because I thought
Yeah.
you said to wait a minute. Okay, I just want to make sure.
I did change the title. Do you have the
Okay,
title?
yeah,
there?
I see the, yeah, I see that now. I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
I simply cannot get into my account right now to.
Okay, just double check. Yeah, I couldn't quite hear everything you said, but I thought you said to wait. But I'm gonna go ahead and share it. I thought you said share, but it went. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I usually am able to share things.
Okay. So tell us a little bit more about Summer when I'm sharing it.
Well, Summer likes to say okay. That is Summer's absolute favorite thing to say. Let's see, I'm going to go on Instagram, and apparently, oh my, Sword has a new post on Instagram.
Oh, she does. She has a new post on Instagram.
Yes, and of course, Summer likes Sword because Sword is the person who raised Summer. Did you know that Summer was a baby when he came to us, and he was not weaned? So Sword had to feed him baby food for birds for the longest time. And even after he was eating seeds, he would fly to the kitchen, and we had like a high chair for a baby, which Bo had used, but Bo was no longer using it at that time. And so Summer would fly to the kitchen, and he expected Sword to feed him baby formula even after he was already eating seeds.
Aw, that's so cute. Wow. That's really awesome.
Yeah, so he's been raised kind of not caged. Engaged, not caged.
Oh yeah, that seems so. What does that mean anyway? Because every time I see that, does that mean that they stay out of the cage more? I don't really Like, what is
Well,
the?
they all have cages. It's not like we don't have cages. We don't pretend we don't have cages. The cage is a nice place for the bird to be. If there are dogs and cats and lions running around, it's
Yeah,
safer in a cage.
that's what
But
I thought. Like, like, I don't really get the premise like of that. But I guess what it's just saying is you want to engage your bird. You don't want to just leave them alone all the time, basically.
right, I mean, it means that he can be in a cage or not, and he has some choices. So Summer, if he decides he doesn't want to be on my shoulder, he's not going to be on my shoulder. That's his choice. You know, I can't make him. You know, just like you can't make Irena.
No, I have a harder time. I think Summer actually is a little bit more engaged than.
Okay, but then he flies away, and that was his choice. I didn't make him fly away. You know, so he went over there because he wants to eat. Can I show him where I can I show you where he is right now?
Of
He
course,
flew
yeah.
away. Yeah, so I'll just pick up my computer and turn it around. Okay.
Sounds good to me. This is the perk of having a laptop because this is what I have my iPhone, but you can't really live stream as well with those. But I'm considering getting a laptop because you can move around a bit more.
Yeah. So you see, he decided he wanted to eat some of his oatmeal. So he flew away to eat his oatmeal. If he should desire to come back to me, he can. But he does not have to. Matter of fact, he kind of threw some oatmeal on my hand. You know, he's
Oh, how cute! Oh,
yeah, and that's
oh, I love how he puts his little face in the. Well, see, I find this really awesome because I can't really have a bird with a cat.
I understand.
I love birds. I love birds. I think they're so neat, but I love to see other people's birds. And actually, one thing I like to do is I used to love to go to PetSmart to look at the birds. It's just fun.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, it's a question of time. You really have to give a bird a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
They're very smart and
And
they
then you
need companionship. And if they don't have another bird as their companion, then they need a human. Now, we do have two other birds here. They're cockatiels,
mm-hmm.
and they have each other. So because they have each other, they don't really need me that much. I'll try to show them to you, okay? Just a minute.
Okay, sounds good to me.
But they're not as tame as they have each other. I don't know if you can see them. Tell me when you see them. Can you see them?
Meanwhile, while everybody's doing that, I have to vote in a couple of days, hopefully. And it's not what I thought it was going to be when I looked at my ballot.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, because I don't know any of the Libertarian presidential candidates, really. I'm going to have to do my research. Unless you have an idea, Aya, can you give us some good ideas?
I do not, because I thought I was going to vote for Kim Ruff, and she's not even running anymore.
Yeah. So I'm registered Libertarian. In California, you have to vote your party line unless you go in and you can request a ballot. But I don't want to vote for Republican or Democrat. So I'm just going to figure out, because I think one of the Libertarian candidates have to be better. I don't know. And we've been getting lots of I threw it all away, but lots of junk mail, like as big as my head, like Mike Bloomberg, like this one. And I'm like, oh, yay. So I threw it all away because I'm like, great. But I'll just do my research. You know, I'm not going to vote off a little card that they send me in the mail anyway.
So who is on that ballot? Just tell me who's on your ballot.
Oh, I have it with me right here. Like, okay, so it says, it's kind of interesting because it says Libertarian Party, County of San Bernardino, and I have Ken Armstrong, Max Abrahamson, Sam Robb, Kim Ruff, Stephen A. Ritchie, Jacob Hornerberger, Soraya Fayez, Kenyon Wallace Denham, Adam Kokesh, Berman Supreme, Joe Jorgensen, Dan Behrman and Eric Chase Gerhardt.
So you have Kim Ruff on your ballot.
Oh, that's true. You're right, because we were talking about her, right?
Yeah, you can do your own research, but if that's still allowed, go ahead and vote for her if you like her, because I thought she had dropped out. I'm sorry if I gave you the wrong impression, because that's what I heard.
But maybe she did, because this ballot was printed up 2 months ago. So she might have. Yeah, so then if she dropped out, then I'd just be wasting my vote. I'll have to look and see. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that because I have it sitting here and I'm going to do it today, I guess. But I'll tell you what I'm definitely voting no on is, and I don't care if anybody knows, is Proposition 13, because they just want to raise more taxes. No.
Yeah. So you were telling me that Irena's, your cat, likes to watch birds on YouTube. Is that correct?
She does. That's why I wanted to come and get her, but right now she's off doing something. But she loves to watch the show.
Yeah, Summer is doing something else right now too. I think Summer went back into his cage. So what you see is the cage is a safe place for him. He likes the cage. He doesn't have to be in the cage. He can choose when he leaves, when he doesn't leave, what he's up to. You know, we do have dogs. We do have a chimp. And he knows what's best for him. And there are times when there are dogs in the house and he just goes into his cage.
Yeah, she loves bird TV. So there's these people like, Paul Denning, I guess, and some others, like they just film birds outside and cats and dogs. Like he makes videos for animals. But I kind of like to watch them too because they're real interesting. Like if you lived in an urban area, I think it'd be nice to maybe just watch birds. And it's interesting because in the comments, some people are like, oh, I like watching this because I don't get like you'll see a few city birds, but you don't have a lot of places you can walk. So yeah, he has mega views for 8-hour videos that he edits of birds outside. But it's tailored, it's marketed towards like cats and dogs, like because they like to watch it. It's basically because they'll see the birds doing like eating things outside, scampering around, squirrels interacting with birds. It's kind of cool. Just watch birds.
Yeah, I just shared that on my other channel using my my iPhone. But yeah, I think it's really interesting that cats like to watch videos because I don't think the dogs do. At least my dogs don't.
Our dogs did actually when they would watch movies with us. They would watch shows like my dog Lady. She loved, I don't know why, but she used to love a crafting show. Maybe it was something about the boys. Maybe it was something about the lady's presence.
Yeah, well, my dogs will listen to shows. And if there's something interesting auditorially going on, they will perk up, their ears and they'll listen. But they don't seem to see any images on the screen. I mean, they don't, the flat image, it doesn't translate in their mind to creatures moving around. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, I know what you're saying. Now, you're probably a little bit more right with dogs because I haven't seen as much with dogs. I've seen with my one dog Lady, yes, but with cats, it's very strong. They love movement on TV. They love watching things. When I start watching Magnificent Century with Irena, she will start watching it, especially if the ladies are wearing very colorful gowns and moving around a lot. She likes a lot of movement, a lot of action, or they like voices, the auditory part once again. But some of the things that she would want to watch surprise me because I'd be watching 48 Hours, something about the voice, and be really creepy. And all of a sudden I feel something really soft, like sitting against me, and she'd be staring at the screen.
Yeah. So it would be interesting to know whether the images mean something to her. Like if the voice were off, would she still watch it?
I think so, yes, because sometimes we turn it off and she will look at the birds, but she also looks out the window. She's obsessed. Okay, they love to watch things because they actually can see visually things that we can't. Like cats see there's a better scientific explanation than what I can provide, but here's an example. They fixed the outdoor lighting on our complex last night, which are laughing like, oh, it's been burnt out for 2 years, and all of a sudden, like, they're in panic mode and they're fixing it. Somebody must have complained, because every time somebody complains, they run down here from corporate and fix something. So anyway, it was like as bright as day last night, and she's just staring out the window at people walking by, and there's birds. You can see birds at night. You know, I can't really see them, but apparently she can kind of see the birds up in the tree. Like, yeah, cats can see a lot.
Yeah,
I don't know how it resonates in their mind, but they do watch things.
Yeah, that's very interesting to know. It is, because one of the ways in which we're different from some animals is some animals can look at pictures and tell what they are. Chimpanzees can, of course, because they're very much like us.
Mm-hmm.
And some animals will not perceive anything in a picture if it's flat and has no smell.
I think in this case with my cat or some other cats, maybe, okay, they've seen a lot of people. They've seen a lot of movement. So maybe they're bored because they can't go outside. So like being able to see all that, the movement.
Is that Irena talking right now?
I guess it was for a second. So they, okay. I think like in the case of my cat, she doesn't get to be outside, because like it wouldn't be safe for her to be outside, even though she used to be an outdoor cat before we found her. So maybe the TV like makes her feel like she gets to see certain things. I don't know. So anyway, but yeah, it's interesting. So anyway.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that cats do pose a danger to native habitat, you know, to the birds that are really out there that are living on their own. So I can understand wanting to keep her in. I think that's good.
Yeah. So like with Summer, like what are some other things like with interspecies friendships that you feel like you've learned?
From Summer?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he really enjoys it when we have people coming in. So Charla comes in and brings bananas once a week. And she always visits with Bo, but she also visits with Summer, and Summer likes to sit on her lap, not on her shoulder, but on her lap. So she will sit there on that chair.
That's interesting. But they seem to they have a really good interaction with.
Yes. And Summer looks forward to her coming over. And when he sees her, he'll say things like, okay.
That's cool. So Summer can say any other words besides okay?
Yeah, he's been known to say hello. I think hello he mostly reserves for Jessica, who comes to sit with Bo. Apparently she says hello more than the rest of us. And but he'll say things sometimes that are hard to understand, because what you may not realize is that parrots have to practice their new words a while before they get them right. So sometimes he says things, but I don't know what he said. I just didn't get it yet, but it sounded like a human being talking. And you know, so did you read that news story about the bird who yelled fire for the very first time when there was a fire?
I didn't hear that. That's interesting though.
Yeah, I posted it on my Facebook page. I can share it here later once I'm able to.
Maybe I looked at it and it's been a while, but I guess maybe I just don't remember that particular story.
Yeah, okay, so this is really important to realize, that what you may have been told about parrots is that they mimic, but they don't know what they're saying, and that there is no context to what they're saying. But this was a real life example of a bird who had never said fire before. And one day there was a fire in the kitchen, and the bird yelled fire, it saved the family. The bird did not save itself. The bird died in the fire. because their lungs are very sensitive. So even if there's just smoke, it's bad for them. Anyway, but it did say fire. That's how it saved the family. And yeah, well, I mean, it could have screamed anything else, but that's not what happened, which is a very good example of something that is not replicable. We could never do an experiment to see if that would happen again.
No, definitely not.
But it's real. It happened, and I think
it happens. So it just goes to show that maybe animals do pick up on certain concepts more than we give them credence that they're able to.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So the idea that they don't know what they're saying, I don't think that's quite right. I mean, they might not, a little parrot, a Quaker parrot like Summer, for instance, may not be as intelligent as an African gray, because African grays are known to be much more intelligent. But within his intelligence level, I think Summer speaks about things that matter to him. You know what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think he's able to get certain concepts. I think he probably knows what okay means, I'm sure. And he probably feels like he understands some words that you and Jessica and Sword have used with him. Maybe he doesn't mimic all of them yet because he's not that type of parrot. Are there certain species of parrots that are more into mimicking language than others? Is that accurate? Or I don't know much about parrots.
Well, Quakers can talk, but they're not the world's greatest talkers, and it also varies from individual to individual. And the fact is that while Sword did raise Summer, when she was in high school, she was very busy, and so she didn't interact with him as much as she had when she was a small child. Mm-hmm. And then she went off to college, and he was left in her room, and I saw how sad he was, so I transported him to the kitchen area. Mm-hmm. So that he would have more company. And so eventually he kind of bonded with me too.
No, you had a big breakthrough with him for sure. Like, wasn't it one time he wouldn't sit on your shoulder and now he does? Like, that was the step.
Right? Oh, no, he wouldn't let me touch him at all. What happened was when I took over his care from Sword, if I would put my hand into the cage to change the water, put food in, stuff like that, clean the cage, he would try to bite me. And I had to use a big wooden spoon. I would put the spoon in so he would bite the spoon, and then with my other hand, I would get the water out to change it and things like that. I mean, I found ways around it so that I could take care of him, but he was actively against my taking care of him. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, no, animals can definitely be that way. Like, my mom actually found some kittens recently that gave birth in an old truck, that because the mom cat went in there, she climbed up through the engine and gave birth. There were 3 of them, but she took one with her and she left those 2 behind. We don't really know what happened. Somehow she just never came back. So the first few days that my mom actually, because they're probably almost a month old, they wouldn't let my mom touch them. So she actually had to kind of use a spoon to pet them. And when she brought food to them, they used to growl at her. But now it's evolved to where this one cat's very sweet. And I think I told you this story the other day that he's kind of befriended a squirrel. Did I tell you about that?
Yeah, you did tell me that. Tell me more about it.
So anyway, this cat, he's a funny cat. His name is Chevy. He was named after a truck. He's a big cat. Maybe he's 12 pounds. He's gray with a white stripe down his nose. So anyway, he loves to jump in leaves, when they're sweeping up leaves and things. And he was outside one day and my mom just noticed there was a squirrel running around and they nearly touched noses, and the squirrel scampered by him and he kind of bopped him on the backside with his paw, and the squirrel kept going. And I was like, was he trying to get the squirrel? I was asking my mom, because usually a cat would be a predator of a rodent, basically what a squirrel is. And she said no, he would have got the squirrel a long time ago if he wanted to. This is a younger squirrel, a baby squirrel, and they seem to be interacting like friends, they're playing some sort of game where they're running back and forth on the roof of the garage. It's very interesting. But she didn't have a camera at that time. She says she wished she would have caught it, but she's maybe nobody believes me. But I'm yeah, I believe you, Mom, because I don't think she's not the kind of person that would make that up.
Well, is that still going on right now? or
Well, she
not?
says like she'll see them out there, but she hasn't caught it like that. Like she just happened to be at that moment when she caught them together like that.
Oh,
So, but you see, he could have caught that squirrel if he wanted to eat it. Like that sounds horrible, but cats are predators. So I know like he must play with the squirrel because he let it go. He didn't even try. He just kind of bopped him on, and they were nearly touching noses. They're kind of like playing a game where they're running back and forth hiding.
yeah. Well, I mean, cats do play with their food even before they eat it. We had an experience of a cat bringing like a mouse into the house and then letting it go. But it wasn't that there was a friendship between the mouse and the cat. It's just the cat was not hungry. And, uh, you know, so he was playing with the mouse, but then the mouse ran away.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying like maybe he was playing, but it didn't seem like it in this case because it just seems like he would have got that squirrel by now if he really, really wanted
Yeah,
to.
no. I believe you. And I would think that maybe you could go over and visit your mom and get some footage on that.
I'm hoping that I can soon. We'll see like what the schedule's like and everything. But I just think it'd be cool if she could film it. Like she says she's gonna try again. Hopefully she'll get something on camera, but she did get him in leaves, which was kind of cool. Like I posted a picture of that where he jumped in a leaf pile and he was like sticking his head out. That was really cute.
Aw, that's sweet.
Yeah. So he likes leaves. And what we found out about cats is they love leaves. Like, I don't know. It's funny. Like they like that. But birds are cooler. I feel like they give you more interaction in a way. Like I feel like you can kind of have more of a, like as a linguist, do you feel like you could have like some sort of breakthroughs with summer in the future?
Well, probably not Summer. But getting to know Summer, because he's not a baby anymore, and it's not like he's going to have any really big breakthroughs. It's probably not going to happen with an older bird like that. I enjoy interacting with him, but I have learned a lot about birds just from interacting with Summer. And if I ever got a baby bird, I think I would try to do something a little bit more along the lines of a scientific investigation of the language learning. But right now with Summer, he's not a language project for me.
Yeah, so that would be down the road. Like if in years from now, it probably wouldn't be right now that you would consider getting a younger bird.
Yeah, no, right now is not the right time for us.
Yeah, I was just curious, like, because I find it kind of interesting, like with Summer. And
no, he's wonderful. He really is so much more intelligent than I ever imagined a small bird could be.
I saw a bird once, wild bird. They always said the early bird gets the worm, but that's not true. They get worms all day long. Did I tell you about this?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I just thought it was the most amazing thing because I'm like, I never thought I would see that because you always hear about it or you'll see a picture of it. But I just happened to be leaving work one day at 2 p.m. This was years ago. And I saw the bird just pull the worm out of the ground. I was like, oh my gosh, and fly away with it. I just thought that was so awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they'll eat lots of things, and certainly worms and other insects are part of their, uh, part of their food, part of their nutrition. And so the idea that they have to be vegetarian or that you should feed them only, vegetables and fruit, that's not true at all.
Oh, no. Not
So when I prepare oatmeal for Bo, Summer started insisting that he had to have some oatmeal too. And he would throw that bowl on the ground and make a loud noise if I didn't give him some oatmeal in that bowl that he has on top of the cage. So a lot of people say, but wait a minute, milk, isn't he lactose intolerant? Isn't milk only intended for mammals? Well, no, it doesn't work that way at all. Listen, before there were mammals, there were birds. And so whatever was developed to feed baby mammals had to be something that would have been nutritious to pre-mammals too. And that's how evolution works. Evolution doesn't just create a creature that is totally unrelated to any of the creatures that came before. That's not how it works. So Snakes can drink milk, and they're certainly not mammals, and birds can drink milk, and they're not mammals, and they enjoy that nutrition.
That's interesting. Like, okay, I always think I hate oatmeal, but the only time I like it is if I add some peanut butter, apple, and it has to have a little bit of fat in it. That's the thing that makes oatmeal taste good to me.
Well, yeah, this is whole milk. What I put in it is whole milk.
Oh yeah, you're putting fat in then. You have fat.
Yes, yes. I'm putting fat and sugar into it.
Yeah.
So it has everything that you could possibly want.
Yeah. That's good. Like, I think, well, I mean, I think people and animals eat look, I've seen crows eat everything imaginable that people leave behind. So they will eat anything. I'm telling you, they're not picky.
Right. But right now there's this movement that you should feed your parrots only fruits and vegetables. And then one of the experts who wrote like a recipe book for birds found out that one of her birds had, what was it, fatty liver. And you know what? Her veterinarian told her, stop feeding that bird sugary fruit because that is what is giving the bird fatty liver disease. So, you know, people don't understand that. They think fatty liver disease comes from eating fat. It doesn't. It comes from eating too much sugar.
Yeah, I don't think that they're supposed to be eating like a whole bunch of fruit like that. Probably it's not.
Well, I mean, during certain seasons, birds will try to fatten up because they're going to have to, the ones that migrate anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit of food here and there, but just like the people that say they can't eat any insects or any fat, that seems kind of counterintuitive. But
yeah, so when they're captive birds, you know, when they're owned by us, we tend to feed them seeds. Why? Because seeds are high in fat, but we don't really want to go out and catch insects for them all the time. So the seeds are like a substitute for the fat that they would have gotten from insects. So they're a substitute for meat, really, is what it is.
Yeah, no, totally. Birdseed's interesting. Well, the wild one, because in the spring, like all these different flowers will pop up. Like if you fed birds outside.
Yes, that happened to me, like morning glory. I threw some birdseed into where we used to have chickens. And in the chicken area, morning glory came up because of that.
So I have this theory about the whole morning glories. They said it would be poisonous if humans consumed it, but then it's in bird seed. So is it really truly poisonous? I'm curious about that. Not that I'm going to eat morning glory seeds to find out. I'm just curious.
Well, everybody's got a different metabolism and different needs. Nothing that is poisonous is absolutely 100% poisonous. It's a matter of dosage, right?
True. That's true. It's a matter of the dosage. But that's so interesting. Like, I just find your whole relationship with Summer and the cockatiels very neat. And I like how they lay eggs every once in a while, even though they are an older pair. It's fascinating to watch all these things that you post on the Interspecies group about your animal friendships.
Yeah. So if you could be interacting with Irena for a little while, I need to go talk to Bo because he's upset about something.
Well, I'll talk a little bit, but she just decided that she was going to sleep right now. So I tried to wake her up. But I can talk about animals. So I'll talk a little bit more about just like cat-wise. They're kind of finicky. Like, it depends on the cat. Cats are interesting because they're not like dogs. They're not going to do what you want them to do. Like, that's the one thing about a dog. Like, a dog will go for a walk, but a cat will not. It won't go for a walk if you don't ask it to. So, yeah, that's the interesting thing about a cat. But the thing I like about a cat living in an apartment versus a dog is that they can use the litter box. Whereas, I've noticed a lot of people that live here, like, they have dogs and they take their dogs on walks, but they don't take them like on an actual walk, which I feel like dogs need a little bit more exercise than what I see like some people do. Like, some people actually will take their dogs on longer walks. But like where I live, like some people, they'll take their dog out for 5 minutes and then they put it back in. And I just don't know if it's fair for a dog to live in an apartment. Like, what do you think about that? Is that fair to a dog if they don't have a backyard?
Probably not. Like Leo is supposed to be Sword's dog. She is now living in an apartment in Springfield with her boyfriend, Brian. But she can't take Leo with her for a number of reasons. First of all, she would have to walk him, and she is a full-time student and Brian is a full-time worker. So nobody would take care of them, you know, of a dog. And secondly, Leo is not a purebred dog. Bo is a little bit upset we're not paying attention to him, but so here's the thing: in Springfield, they have a lot, or at that apartment complex, I'm not sure exactly, but anyway, they wouldn't be allowed to keep a dog there unless it had papers that showed its pedigree.
What? That's crazy.
I know. And Leo is part Sheltie and part Beagle, so he's a mixed breed. They wouldn't allow a mixed breed there.
At our apartment complex, they're very pet friendly. It's one of the few that's extremely pet friendly, but some of their rules are weird. Like pit bulls aren't allowed, but then I saw somebody with a big husky dog, and I was trying to figure out one day, like, why is it a big husky dog's allowed, but the pit bull's not allowed?
Well, there is prejudice against pit bulls, and I think that that policy about mixed breeds is supposedly to protect against somebody having a dog that is part pit bull. You know, but actually Brian's family loves pit bulls, and they do have a pit bull, which is a family dog. And they had small children, you know.
One of our dogs was half husky and half pit bull, and he was a really neat dog. Yeah, better watch the dryer though. Oh my gosh. Well, here's an animal related story. Did I ever tell you about the washcloth incident about watching the dryer?
No.
So years ago, I painted this dog Buster. He was half, I would say, husky, half pit bull. That's what we believe. He looked like a lot like a pit bull. He had little legs and a big head, kind of boxy looking. He had that pit bull look to him. So anyway, if you emptied the dryer, you had to be really careful because he got really excited because, oh my gosh, there were washcloths in the dryer, and he would stick his head in there and try and eat them, and he would eat a washcloth.
Oh.
Like he wanted to, like, and he'd be like, no, and he'd run away with it. Like, oh my gosh, like this is the most delicious treat I ever got in my life. And he probably ate several washcloths during his whole life because it was like, if you weren't watching closely, he wanted to eat that.
Wow. Yeah.
I know it sounds strange, but he also loved drywall and like the whole Marley and Me thing. I thought, oh, that's like, you would think that's exaggerated, but he actually ate drywall off the whole side of a wall. Just like Marley, like that dog. He was quite the character.
Yeah. Well, I have a painting of a dog that I did when I was younger. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, I would love to see it.
Looking at a photo, and I painted it from a photo.
Oh, that's a cute little dog. What type of a dog is this one?
I don't know because, like I said, it wasn't a dog that belonged to me. I just was given, it was at the time when I wanted to do portraits so much. And my teacher said, no, you can't do portraits. You can't do portraits. So finally she relented and she said, okay, paint this dog because she didn't want me to paint a human being. So I painted the dog.
That's really neat. So when you were taking painting classes, was that when you were doing like independent study on your own for high school? Like, would you go to would you have a paint teacher come and teach you, or how did that work?
It was during the time when I was homeschooled, but there was a woman who had a studio where she taught. Most of the people who came to study with her were housewives, you know, or middle-aged women or something like that. I was the only young person there. And obviously everybody was so much better at it than I was because, you know, they had a whole lifetime of experience.
Yeah, experience but that's really neat. So you had like, You basically had professional art lessons. I think that's really neat that you got to do that. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
my father was always trying to encourage me to learn new things, and he knew that I liked to draw. And so he said, "Would you like to learn how to paint?" And I said, "Yes."
Very cool. But I love the fact that you have that painting from that. But anyway, I know but it's just a beautiful little dog. It kind of,
Yeah, I don't know. Is this called a spaniel?
uh-huh. Aw. I love its nose. Like you get the feeling of its nose being very shiny as the dog is.
Yes.
Very
I
cute.
gave this painting to my grandmother, my father's mother, but I got it back after she died.
Yeah. That's kind of sometimes how it goes. Like, well, with animals, like they can change ownership sometimes in a family or come back to you. I heard this unusual story. I don't know if it was true or not, but there were these people that believed this cat was almost, they couldn't verify this. They thought it was the same cat that their family had owned 30 years later, and somehow it came back to them, which I'm kind of like, I don't know in that case, because cats maybe live to be 22, 23 if you're lucky. But 30 years, maybe it was a descendant of that cat is what I kind of thought.
Well, they can live over 20 years, so 25 wouldn't be.
Yeah, 25 is kind of like the higher end of the spectrum, but 30, I'd be kind of like, I speculate if you weren't really sure about what happened to the cat and you thought it was living with a relative and then you had it again, I don't think you would realize miraculously one day, oh, that's the cat I owned back in 1985. I think it might have been a descendant of the cat you own. I think you would be a little bit more aware of where that cat was, like even if it was changing hands within a family. So that story was kind of, I'm not doubting it. It just sounded a little dubious in a way.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, some stories don't make a lot of sense, but I don't know. I'm not a cat person because I do have cat allergies.
Yeah, no, I know you're more of a dog person, so I'm sharing my experiences because I'm more of I just bonded with cats. It's not that I don't like dogs, it's just because I don't have a lot of land. I don't think it's fair to have a dog in my case. I do like dogs, it's just I don't have the space or time for a dog right now.
Yeah, I'm sure I would like cats too. It's just that I have respiratory issues.
Yeah, if you're allergies and respiratory issues, you don't really want to mess with those things with cats. And some people are prone like to toxify. Like I totally understand there's some reasons why people do not want to own a cat. That's why a bird is another good species that you could not own or be friends with. I think you can own an animal. I don't care what other people say. Like,
yes,
go away, like all you people that are like, oh, that's the whole new thing now. We can't own animals. We can't. Like, what do you want? Like those people, I feel like sometimes they don't really care what happens to animals. But you know what's funny, Aya? Like, not to go off topic, but a lot of those people that were really hardcore saying those things before, guess what happened? Like with some of those people on YouTube, a lot of them went back to eating meat, and now they own like a purebred animal. Like 2 years later, so it kind of tells you something. Like, should you really listen to somebody who tells you not to do something? Because later on they'll probably go back and do the thing that they told other people not to do.
Right. Well, a lot of animals we wouldn't have at all if people did not own them. And if you can't own them and you can't sell them, that's very bad for them. So for instance, I don't know, but I think in certain jurisdictions, you aren't allowed to sell horses anymore, or something like that. I don't know. I heard something like that. So if you have a horse, and horses eat a lot, and if you're not allowed to sell it, what's going to happen to the horse when you can't afford to feed it? You understand what I'm saying?
No, exactly. I feel like they don't care about the animals. I feel like these jurisdictions that pass these laws, well, for instance, like the whole anti-TNR thing, like some people, like I know you're not a cat person, but there were people, they would go out and they would feed like the stray cats. And there were some people that said they would rather euthanize all those cats because that was more humane, but I don't see how it's more humane to kill them.
No, I don't think so. That's just like Kim Jong-un, or whatever his current name is, the current ruler of North Korea, who when he found out that somebody was infected with the coronavirus, ordered that person shot. So yeah, Somebody on my Facebook page said that that was merciful, but I'm not sure that it is. That's not my attitude toward it.
No, definitely not. I think we need to have, well, I guess what I'm trying to say, I'm not going to make it political, but I think we need to have interspecies friendships. We need to still have animals in our life, because this path of going towards saying that nobody can own an animal means that basically maybe we want animals to become extinct in a way. That's kind of what's going to happen.
That's exactly it. They don't seem to realize that when we are in control of all the space around us, only those animals that we sponsor have any chance of even surviving.
Yeah, they don't. That's why just have more of a balanced view of it, everybody. Like, don't listen to the, anyway, not to get off tangent. I think animals are great. We need to promote people having friendships with animals. It's okay to own an animal. It's okay to have a pet. Anyone who tells you that, you shouldn't be listening to that. That's just all I'm going to say. Nobody else has to say that, but I will.
Okay, do we have any comments currently in our chat?
Let me check. No, nobody has commented yet. I'll double check again. We have like 3 people watching, but there's been nobody commenting.
Okay, well, it's quite possible that this is not a really good time of day for a live stream, but it was fun trying.
Yeah, it was, and it was interesting. I love seeing Summer in action, so I'm glad we got to see them, see him at the beginning of the video a little bit.
Yeah, you certainly did. So perhaps we should sign off, and
okay.
Anybody who has more questions about interspecies friendships can try to leave a comment and we'll answer it.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, you have a wonderful day, Julia.
You too, Aya. Bye.
Bye.